this one.
I did it before.
Let's say block line. But do you want to
know PR, which is public relations. And when you think about it in terms of big organizations, global organizations, but it's also important for you to do your own personal brand PR. So I'm going to just talk you through basic things that you can do to achieve that. And I'm going to start off. Oh, let me just do a quick recap of the last session that we had in May, and which was basically, we talked about your digital footprint. And, you know, we said that everything that you do online stays online. So you have to really be careful about your personal brand online. And whether you're actively doing it or not, you have a personal brand. And if you Google yourself, you would see different results. So we've talked about the Google search test. I'm sure by now you've all done it. Did you like the results? If you didn't, you can work on it. And we talked about using social media as a great platform to boost up your visibility on Google, and LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, maybe Facebook are the recommended. You don't have to be on all the platforms so that you don't burn yourself out or get tired of engaging. And majority of these platforms, except from Twitter, 3 times a week is decent to publish your content. So I'm just going to dive right in today. So do you really need, personal brand PR? I'm sure some of you, you've been wondering how some entrepreneurs get speaking engagements or they get to be featured on global platforms. It's because they're visible. And going back to the Google search test that we talked about, people like what they see. Hi, Kodima, welcome. People like what they see about them on Google. And one of the things that would help ramp up your credibility and your authenticity is by making sure that you do a personal brand PR. So that way you're invited to the right platform. So imagine being invited to the Forbes Summit, getting on the cover of Forbes. It's really possible, but it depends on the baby steps you're able to take now. Yes, I know that people pay big money for PR, but there are little things that you can do free of charge right now. It's just going to take you time and resilience to be able to do these things, but you can lay the right foundation so that the right platforms, media, blogs begin to talk about you. So that's why personal brand PR is very, very important for visibility and for reach as well. So I wrote down personal brand PR. It sounds great. Some of you may be saying it's expensive. I don't have any personal contacts in the media. I don't have 10,000 followers. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows my business. We just started. I hear your excuses, but I've done it before and I know that you can do it as well. So promise me that you keep all the excuses aside and be open-minded to the things I'm going to share. And trust me, if you do these things consistently, you will definitely see the results. Again, I've tried it and it works. So let's go to the foundation. Our first session, we talked about your personal brand strategy, your personal brand statement. You must be able to articulate the value that you bring to the table, because doing your own personal brand PR requires you to pitch yourself to different platforms, different organizations, leading thought leaders in your industry. What are you going to say to them? What is important about your brand? So that needs to be clearly articulated. And I hope by now we all have a personal brand statement that really just a concise way of saying who we are and what our brand is about, or what we are out to achieve, our passion, our motivation. It should be very clearly stated. And remember the elevator pitch from those of you who were in the class 2 months ago. That's where it comes in handy. You must be proactive about it. Opportunities are there everywhere. I'll tell you a story. There was a day that I was doing some research and I came across this platform, and I was doing a research for women and I saw a link on their website, share your story. And I was curious. So I just clicked share your story and I saw that they had about a series of 10 to 12 questions that you had to answer. And then you send your pictures to a WeTransfer link. And then after that, you get published. and this was, it's interesting because it was midnight, you know. I was like, okay, you know what, let me just do this. And I took my time. They asked me questions. I would send you the link for those of you who are interested. I will send you the link to the interview. So they asked me who I am, and I started this hub for writers at the time. So they asked me about that, what we've achieved, my passion, where I hope to see it in 5 years. And then we had done some events as well. So I put pictures of the event. We had a YouTube channel. I put everything on social media handles. Guys, in less than 48 hours, that interview was up on their website. Now, this is the interesting thing about that interview. 3 months later, I was on a plane to Abuja, and you know, I landed, and I started getting emails, people saying, "Congratulations, well done." I'm like, "What's this about? I didn't do anything." And then a friend sends me a screenshot of a newspaper that had actually carried that interview and put it on the center spread. It was a big deal because you guys can imagine what it is to get a center spread in a newspaper. I didn't pay for it. I didn't know anybody in that newspaper. I wasn't even aware that it was going to be published, but that did a lot for my personal brand because and the newspaper at the time was targeted at business people that actually were my target audience. So I just said to myself, imagine if I didn't take that time to answer those questions in that interview. Imagine if I was just laid back. So you need to be very proactive about opportunities. Follow the right platforms. I'm going to share that at the end, the tips, and all of this is in the slides, by the way, guys. So make sure you're following the right platforms. When we talk about personal brand vision, where do you want to see your personal brand? Are you engaging? You want to be on Forbes, for example. Are you following all their handles? Do you check their website regularly? Are you seeing ways to become a contributor? You're not getting audio. Oh, can everyone else hear me? I wonder why you're not getting audio.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's just everyone else can hear. Okay, so where was I? Yes. So imagine you want to get on Forbes. Oh, by the way, maybe the person, you need to unmute yourself or something. Maybe use a speaker.
No,
So,
if they unmute themselves, then there'll maybe some noise in the background. So
okay. I get that. Okay. All right. So if you want to be on Forbes, for example, are you following them on their social media handles? Are you regularly checking their websites? You need to be, I don't want to say stalking, but you just need to be proactive and think about where you want your personal brand to go to and engage, be on the lookout because opportunities come as quickly as possible. There's a slang in Nigeria called shoot your shot. And that really means just putting yourself out there, you know, going for it. So when the need arises, something comes up and you feel, okay, I can, you know, this can be for me. Send an email. Down the slides, I'm going to show you how to write an email page. Send a DM on Instagram. Reach out on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really fantastic for this. So some of the things that I do is the key people in my industry, I follow them on LinkedIn. And once you follow them and you engage with their content, which we spoke about last week, it's easy for you to jump on an opportunity that they share because they kind of have some kind of relationship, virtual relationship with you. And then also create a personal brand pitch deck. Now, if you have a personal website, you may not need to do this, but this is what your personal brand pitch deck is. It has your professional headshot. Guys, it needs to be professional. You're putting your best foot forward. It has your bio, professionally written. We're going to talk about what needs to be in your bio/profile. I like to call it profile because profile is more professional. But you need to have that. You need to have screenshots of your significant achievements. So screenshots of if you've ever been featured on any platform, no matter how small. And also let me say this, guys, there's no platform that is too small because you see, when people Google you, Google brings out everything about you. So don't just aim for the millions of, for the platforms with millions of followers, even the ones with tens, the ones with hundreds, the ones with thousands, you can also aim to have those ones as well because every little counts. So your personal brand pitch deck, your professional picture, which is your headshot, your profile, significant achievements, so awards, recognitions, mentions on social media, whatever it is, just do a screenshot and have a document or a folder on your laptop where you keep them. I prefer if this is done as a Word document so that you have it in one document that you can easily attach and send. So anywhere you are, you know that you have it. And volunteering experience, I'm going to talk more about this. If you've not been featured anywhere, you're saying, okay, I've not been featured, nobody knows me. Volunteer is such a great way for visibility and, getting to the right platforms. We'll talk about this more. And then I strongly recommend a personal website, because with that, you have a link that you can quickly send to people so that they can read more about you. Please, if you have any questions, you can type it up and I would also take it. Or if there's anything you want me to clarify, I'm very, very happy to do that. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So how do you pitch your personal brand? You've seen this opportunity, or you've seen this platform within your industry. Say you're in the agricultural sector, you see this platform that is mainly for that sector, you want to get featured on there. How do you do it? Now, the first thing I wrote here is identify platforms that will be good for your personal brand. I know that I said, embrace, all platforms, but remember that you need to be strategic about it. There's no reason for you to be on a platform that is targeted at kids. It doesn't relate to your personal brand. So in choosing the right platforms for you, you need to look at where you are currently. So what do you do? What industry do you operate in? And where do you hope to be in the next 3-5 years? So work your way to that long-term vision. Then do your research. So you're going to look for general platforms, which are general news platforms, general blogs, media outlets. Then you're going to look for the niche platforms. So I use the example of the agricultural sector, fashion blogs, fashion media outlets, things like that. If you're in the catering culinary space, same thing, food blogs, you target them and you also target the niche ones. And then there are also some gender platforms. So we have a lot of platforms now, for example, that are just solely for women. So if you're a woman, you also need to be targeting those platforms, because it's just an avenue to tell your story. When you do your research, get their contact details, find out who the editor is, who the key person, the writers. I got on a platform one time because I found one of the writers I'd read, and most of these blogs, they write their byline, and I found one of their regular contributors, and I engaged with her. I think it was on Instagram, and I told her this is what I do, and she sent me a link, interview questions, and that's how I got on. So don't discount the place of social media, and then draft your email to the editor or key person. Next thing, follow up. Sometimes you send an email, they respond on time. Sometimes they never respond, no matter how many times you follow up. I still have platforms that I've reached out to that till today, I'm still expecting a reply, but no problem. The rule for following up, however, is this. If there is no positive response after the second or maximum the third time, I think you should let it go, because again, you don't want to seem too desperate. So just let it go. The interesting thing about this is that there will be platforms that will say yes, and when you start becoming more visible, you will be very surprised that these platforms will be the ones to come and reach out to you. So please don't send 10 follow-ups. I wouldn't really recommend that. So the next one is the email template. So I've put a template there that you can just tweak. So essentially, dear name of editor, I like to get the name of the person. Rather than just write dear editor, I like dear Adedoyin. It shows that I've, researched this platform, and it just shows a bit of intentionality, I think. Or person in charge. My name is, you put your name, and then a short description of why you're writing this email. My name is Adedoyin Jaisimi, and I write to pitch for a feature in your publication, and you write the name. And then you write about yourself. So I am the head of communications at Content Craft. We do brand communications for global and philanthropic organizations. Just say it's very, very, very succinct, but make sure that it's very punchy. So your most significant achievement or your mission or our goal is to transform, I put an example here, to transform 20 communities and open 10 outlets across the country. Then you add more details to show your motivation and your passion. I'm very passionate about reaching out to women or educating women or empowering women. And then you put a link to read more about me and my work. Here is a link. This is where a personal website comes in handy. If you don't have one, remember we spoke about the pitch deck. You can always attach it. And then you said the key reasons why they should consider to feature you. This is where research comes into play. What do they like to feature on that platform? Why is your story suitable for that platform? Is it something that their audience will like? Do they have a track record of interviewing people in your niche or in your area of expertise? That's where you write that. And then you end with, I believe your audience will learn a lot from my experience. I'm willing to share my journey, and I believe my journey would inspire, you know, your audience, something like that. Again, your reason should be based on research. Don't just, you know, be random, which means that this email template, you can't send the same email to 10 media platforms. Please don't do that. Let it be. Let them feel like you took your time to actually write to them. And I look forward to hearing from you. Many thanks for your time. And then you end it there. Remember the follow-up rule. And so when you want to follow up, dear, just following up on my previous email, I'm happy to address any questions or concerns you may have, something like that, and then you leave it. And, you know, a lot of these platforms that are looking for content, that are looking for stories to feature, they will answer you. And by the way, it's not only email you can use this for. You can use this for LinkedIn. Obviously, LinkedIn and social media platforms, you might make it more concise because nobody really wants to read a wordy DM, but you can also use it for other social media platforms. And then results from a successful brand page, which is essentially mine. So from that first interview, which is the interview in the middle, I've gotten several features. I just put 3 of them here just to show you that. And this is what I did in 2016, and this is 2019, and I'm still getting, you know, brand features that I didn't even pitch for. They just call me. And obviously, I'm active on social media. You know, I've been implementing the things I've been teaching you for the last 2 sessions. So you can't just be dormant with it. Okay, so let's move on to creating an impressive personal profile. I hope everybody has a profile. Please indicate yes, no. Do you have a personal profile or bio? Some people call it bio. It's very, very important. And if you could just type yes, no, so that I have a feel of how many people have, how many people don't have. But it's very, very essential for you to have a personal profile. It can open great doors for you. Somebody can read your profile and be like, oh, I want to talk to this person. Oh, I want to interview this person. Oh, I want to feature this person on my platform. Oh, I think that this opportunity is right for this person. So have an impressive personal profile. If you don't have one, you need to start working on it. So I'm going to share a few tips that would help you. Not structured. Okay, but at least you have something. So I'm going to talk to you through some tips that would help you structure it better. Okay, so, oh, awesome. I'm happy to hear that you have. So list out to start with, you want to improve it, great. List out your significant achievements, accomplishments, and awards. So you just take a scrap paper and just list them out. Now, if you don't have any significant achievements or awards yet, because maybe you're just starting, you're just growing, this is where volunteering comes into play. So when I first started, for example, I didn't have any awards in my industry or any recognition, so to speak. So what I did was I volunteered. I identified networks or groups that would be good for my profile or within my industry, and I just volunteered. There are a lot of conferences that happen. There are a lot of seminars and things like that. And almost always, they're always looking for volunteers. In fact, let me give you guys this. Just last week, I applied to be a volunteer for a conference that is happening in Rwanda. They may say yes, they may say no, but trust me, if I go for that conference, it's going to be something that I'm going to put in my profile. So volunteering again is the same thing that we've spoken about. Get the contact, pitch yourself. What kind of value would you add? And almost always you get a yes. So you need to also be on the lookout. So volunteering experience is very good if you don't have any achievements yet. List platforms you have been featured on, if any. Guest blogging is always very useful here. I spoke about this, I think 2 months ago. Think of platforms where you can start guest blogging, because imagine if you've been guest blogging for 2-3 platforms, so you can say, you know, how work has been featured on da 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 da. They don't need to know it's free. They don't need to know, you know, all of that, but it's good visibility and it's also good for your personal profile. Then, do you belong to any notable groups or body that is widely recognized? So that I know there's global shapers and things like that. Those are things you want to put in your profile. Now, one thing that is very important is to read the profile of leading business leaders in your industry. What keywords are they using to describe themselves? What adjectives? I'm a writer and I can tell you the power of words. About what kind of blogging. Okay, noted. I will do that at the end of this. So the power of words are very important. You know, you can describe yourself as, so I said, I started off describing myself as a writer, no, a freelance writer. And I noticed that people were not taking me seriously. And then I upgraded to editor. Now I call myself a communications professional. There is a vast difference, in titles. Aside from titles, how do you describe yourself? What adjectives do you use? I don't expect you to be, the best writer, but the thing is, we have the tools to help us. Reading other people's profiles, using your thesaurus to get synonyms and power words. And power words are words that evoke emotion. So those are the words that you need to be infusing in your profile. And then also, I always talk about thinking about the future. So you can't just write your personal profile for now. You need to write about the future. So when I started describing myself as a communications professional, this was 2 years ago, and I imagined myself being where I am now, that I wanted to be a consultant to organizations, global organizations, international organizations. And I wrote my profile to suit where I wanted to go. Not telling of lies, obviously, but it's just making sure that you're well positioned for the platform that you want to attract. And then write a draft profile infusing all these details and tweak it as you grow. That's one thing that I would emphasize. Your profile, you can change it as many times as possible. You tweak it. Any new achievement, insert it. Remove things that, okay, this is obsolete now. This is no longer. So, for example, you were featured on a platform with 100 followers, and now you're featured on a platform with 10,000 followers. You might choose to remove the 100 because now you have something weightier. So that's something you might want to consider. And okay, so I'm just going to quickly run through this, and then I'll take questions. So leveraging social media for visibility. Monitor trends and hashtags, very important. And then see the ones that relate to your brand. What can you add to the conversation? If you have nothing meaningful to add to the conversation, then don't engage. LinkedIn and all these platforms. Share live content from industry events and conferences. This is very, very important when you go for conferences, because those conferences are already trending anyway. So share your live content, your live tweets, live videos, Insta Live, IGTV, using the hashtag. People, you'll be surprised with how many people will be following you just because of that, and share your insight. Oh, interesting session with Mr. Tony Elumelu. He said blah, 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 and blah. Or you can even do a recap. So what I used to do before was I would do a recap. In fact, let me go back a bit. What I would do is during the conference, I would share, the fact that I'm there, share highlights. And blogs used to reach out to me to do a summary of the conference. So that happened like 2 or 3 times. So it's very useful to do. Tag and mention industry leaders. So if you have Bill Gates at the conference that you attended, tag him, mention him. He can retweet, he may not retweet, but at least more people will get to see it. So more often than not, if you write something that is really sensible, they will actually retweet and reshare, and more people get to see and know you. And offer to share your knowledge in your social media community by organizing small but impactful events. This is also a great way for visibility. You are a thought leader in your own space. When you've been running a business, you know something that other people don't know. You don't have to organize a conference. You can have, I'm a fan, maybe because I'm introverted, I'm a fan of small events of 10 people. So usually I bring, my writing club, we bring about 10 people together. We teach them how to write, or it can just be knowledge exchange. And what now happens is that those 10 people will now share on their own platform. And imagine if you do this periodically, it doesn't have to cost you money, but it's something to just keep your brand visible in this day and age. And then lastly, tips. Again, follow the right platforms and the right influencers. You need research to be able to do this. Make sure that you're researching right. Leverage LinkedIn. Guys, LinkedIn is very, very, very critical. Please follow the right people, engage with them, share your content there as well. Obviously, use Instagram as well, but I think LinkedIn is very, very, very critical. Be able to articulate the value, very important. Research, be strategic about attending industry events. And I would also say try and attend events that are outside your industry. So sometimes go for a fashion event. Sometimes, so for example, in Lagos, we have something called the JC Bank Food Festival. There's different things that people are doing that, you can go for. So there's the fashion souk, there are different Eat Drink Festival. So you may want to go for industry events that are outside your industry. Volunteer strategically and add value to communities. Always look for ways to add value. It pays off very much. And then aim to have a personal relationship with key people within and outside your industry. Again, social media is a great way to do this. There are people that I follow on LinkedIn that it feels like I've known them for a long time, but mainly because I engage with their content. and engage with them on that platform. So that's pretty much it. So I'll take your question and tell me more about what kind of blogging. So it really depends on you. So you can decide, for example, you want to blog about your area of expertise, and you can decide that you want to maybe blog about your daily experience as an entrepreneur. That really just depends on you. What are you comfortable writing about? And then that will really determine. But I would suggest write things that people can learn from. So write insights, useful information, technical knowledge, obviously not revealing everything that you know, but little knowledge that you know that the community and the audience can benefit from. So that kind of blogging, it doesn't have to be lifestyle blogging or you sharing your face, what you're eating, what you're doing, but it can just be really targeted at your business and the lessons you've learned so far in your journey as an entrepreneur. So that I hope that helps. So I know we're running out of time. Any questions? Oh yes, I was going to add my email address. Let me quickly type it. If you want me to review your profile, I'm happy to do that. But only for the first 5 people. It's actually a paid service. So, I mean, the first 5 people that send it to me, I will review it for you. So I'm just going to type my email address here. So it's adedoyin@contentcraftng.com. So if you have a profile, this is for people that have a profile already. If you want us to start from scratch, obviously get in touch, but yeah, we can work on that. But if you have it already and you want me to review it, or you want me to review your social media handles, please get in touch. Also, any more questions, because we're running out of time, I'm happy to answer any more questions. You can follow me on social media at Adedoyin Jaisimi on Instagram, and then I'm Adedoyin Jaisimi on LinkedIn, Facebook, and at MSDOYEEN on Twitter. I'm not very, very active on Twitter. I use it for social listening. That's why I get the latest trends and news in my industry. But LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you can reach out to me. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. Hope you found this session useful. I hope that you're able to take 1 or 2 things and implement it from today. That would really make me happy. Yes, so I don't know. Does anybody have any more questions? Okay, you're welcome. Yes, yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Okay. I think the team will let you know. I'm sure there's a recording that they can send, so you can watch a recap of what we discussed, and then you also have the slides as well. You're very welcome, Betty. Thank you for joining in. Again, if you think of any questions after now, then please shoot me an email or social media, whichever platform works for you. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay, please do. Can I write out my social media? So this is my full name at, let me quickly do it before it goes off. Adedoyin Jaisimi. This is Instagram, IG, yeah, that's Instagram, and this is LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn, yeah, this is LinkedIn. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to receiving those of you that are going to take advantage of the profile review and any more questions. So I think we have about less than 2 minutes before this goes off. But thank you so much, guys, for joining today, and I look forward to the next session with you guys. So I'm going to close. I guess it's okay to end the chats now. I don't think anybody has any more questions. It's going to go off anyway in 1 minute. But thank you so much, guys, and you're welcome. You're welcome. Bye.